Hello and welcome to card number 2 for Thursday's Inspiring Sessions. It's been so exciting to get this card put together. If you know me, you know I love my boys, and it's so fun to find something that is Valentine-y, shows love, but yet the card can also be for guys. So I'm so excited to show you the card, and here it is. This will be card number 7 for January Stamp Camp. And how fun is that to have a Valentine with guy colors? Hello, Julie. Thanks for joining in. So I scrolled through Pinterest because I had the Heartfelt bundle, the Heartfelt stamp set, and the bundle goes with the punch pack. And I thought, you know, I just need to get a start on some ideas, but I wanted to pull something out that some of you may have already purchased. And last year, the Heartfelt bundle with the Heart punch pack was one of my more popular bundles that I sold during this time. So then, of course, I like to bring that back out so that you guys have something that you can make with things that you already have too. Hi Tori, hi Rosina, hi Sue, and there, okay, and Jody has this so she can use it too. Wonderful. So with that, yeah, so using that stamp set, I thought, well, the idea I saw on Pinterest wasn't current with some of the products. And so I thought, well, what do we have that's kind of guy products? And I'm like, wow, the Well Suited whole suite of products is really exciting in the mini catalog. So it's like, well, let's bring that into the card too, into the mix for the paper. And because it's a stamp camp card, know that like mine will look like this, and most of the cards will look like that. But if your design is off just a little bit, it will be because of the paper selection and such too. So I've got my iPad up and running so that if you guys have questions or comments, I can see that. So let me just set that aside here. And I think I'm ready. Yes, guy cards always need ideas. Yes, and so I always feel like I want to have my guys covered. If I'm making cards, you know, I should be good at making guy cards because I was good at making guys. I have only sons, 3 of them. So this had better go hand in hand. And so thinking of that too, like something like this, you could maybe just switch up if you don't want it to be Valentine's and make it something else too. But I was really excited about that, and just I don't know how things will look this Valentine's, if I'll have any of my guys around or not. The 2 college ones might just stay put too. Hi there, Ginger. So here's the card, looking at it at the right angle too. So I like that the arrows, you know, kind of show up really well, but yet you can see the designer series paper really well underneath there too. It's kind of a busy designer series paper. So I think that putting the arrows on there kind of helps with that too. So let me show you where the products are to make the card. So the Heartfelt stamp set is in the annual catalog. So you can see there's lots of different hearts, and they all coordinate with a punch pack. And then you can see there's great sentiments. The one I'm not using, but how fun is this? Being friends is better than eating candy. But let's do that too. So it'd go great with so lucky to have a friend like you. That could be used for anything. Some of these sentiments like that, I almost have to remind myself that doesn't have to be Valentine's. Like you could put that in somebody's birthday card and that would be great. So that is found in the annual catalog on page 75. The stamp set itself is 17, but then I got really excited because it tells us here it coordinates with a heart punch pack. And then when I go to the back of the annual catalog here to look up the punch pack, this is one of those things that Stampin' Up! Carried over, and they also carried over the bundle pricing. So if you want just the Heart Punch Pack, it's $34, but if you get both the stamp set and the Heart Punch Pack together, 10% savings. So I'm excited about that because for some reason I was thinking the punch pack was separate than the stamp set. So that's always a fun thing. So let me set that aside and then kind of show you the fun paper too. So in the mini catalog, I was thinking like, hey, I'm not going to have to worry about getting more of this paper in for a while, or add to this, because you know what, this will be more like towards Father's Day that I might use this. And yet I've seen where some people have taken the guy dies, I call them guy dies, and kind of made them look upside down and made them look like trousers or pants. And then some people have actually used these dyes and done some of the new floral papers and made them look like pajama pants too. So I thought, oh, there's just, you know, those clever people out there that I am not, that I can copy from. But it's kind of fun to bring in the paper today from that. And that's on pages 66 and 67 where I'm getting the paper. And as always, it's fun to show you kind of more of a close-up. So this is the paper that I'm featuring today. And then look at the fun paisley in there. And I think my son has a shirt that looks like this, and this totally reminds me of a tie that we have here in the house. And then just traditional for the pin suit stripe look. And this one is a fun one with grays and blacks. And this might, some of you might, that are getting my January stamp camp cards, might get this pattern too, because I think it's kind of fun, kind of busy, but once again, if we put the arrows over it, it'll be great. I thought about incorporating this one just because of the red in there, but yet I kind of wanted to stick with totally non-traditional. Hey there, Drake. Thanks for joining in. I'm just now blowing the surprise of your Valentine card you'll get from me. And so with that, you can see this one's more plain, and this is kind of a fun flannel one. I think my husband has a shirt similar to this, and then this is kind of a nice tweed one. I have an idea for this one too. And once again, another similar like looking tie. This is actually the back side of this one, so I don't think I'll get to use this one for very long because I'm going to go with this today. Hey there, Tabitha, how are you? And Diane too. Okay, so those are the fun papers. So let's get started making the card. I realized today with my first card that I made that I didn't use my Big Shot at all for it, and same with this one. So if you're a crafter that doesn't own a die cutting machine and think, okay, how do I do that? Today I have 2 cards for you that you won't have to worry at all about that. So I always have to step back and think, how did I start this card when I had it started? So I'm going to go ahead. Hi, Donna. These are the punches, really super heavy duty punches, both of them from the punch pack. And so I'm going to take, before I start assembling my card, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. It's not the biggest deal if I forget, but this is the larger. They're meant to mat or, you know, kind of nest each other. So this one has a scallop and it's the larger, and then this one is the smaller and just a plain heart. So I'm going to go ahead and just punch a heart right in the middle. If you were at stamp camp, that would kind of drive me bonkers if somebody just took a piece of paper like that and cut in the middle and just left it. Because I'm more of a scrapper saver type thing. Hi, Carol. But this is going to get covered up, so it's all okay. And otherwise, if you are doing that and forget to, I'm just saving paper in general because nobody's going to see that. And then you have the heart already punched out. So with that, I can go ahead and just tape that down. And I know you guys always say, oh, I love when you give me comments and tips and tricks how to save paper here and there. A lot of times I make my card first and then I see, going back the second time for you guys, how I could have saved paper, but at least I'm helping you guys along with that. Okay, so I have this for the card base, and so this is, like I said, the Well Suited paper, DSP, and then I put that on some Pacific Point cardstock. So I have that for that. And now I think I'm going to get busy making all of these arrows. And I did think, okay, I could do all of these arrows ahead of time and not bore you guys with, that. But it really didn't take too long. And sometimes when it doesn't take too long, I want to show you from start to finish, because then you'll know, okay, that card looks putsy, fussy, but it really wasn't too bad. So I have a long strip here of white cardstock. So it is 11 inches, and then I trimmed it to 3/4. So I'm just going to lay that down, and I'm going to start with Pacific Point ink. When they're all open, they kind of all look the same here. So, whoops, got a little bit on my thumb. So this is one of the old style ink pads, and I can really tell a difference that with that it picks up ink differently than the newer style that most of you probably have. I just have to give it a little bit of a twist and tap to make sure it's on there. Not a big deal, but I notice it more with my images that are a little bit bolder. Tabitha, yes. How did you not know that? I love it that you're learning something new today. And once you do it once, you'll be like, oh yeah, let's do this all the time. Okay, so I've got 2 Pacific Point arrows, and I just kind of put it on both ends, but I want all of these pieces to be 3.5 inches. So that's where after I stamp, I'm gonna go ahead and then trim it to 3.5. You know, it's funny how if I would have cut to 3.5 right away, I would have felt stressed squeezing that arrow on there. So then it's like, okay, it's easier to stamp for me and then trim, knowing that it's still gonna fit. Okay, then I need to, whoops, forgot to have my cleaner thing handy. Okay, all right, let me just wipe that arrow off because we're switching inks here. Now I'm going to go to my Night of Navy and just ink that up and do that same thing here. Like I said, it's one of those things I could have done ahead of time, but why not show you? And they're all the same size. So this one too is 3/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to trim that at 3.5. And so this is too one of those things, if you ever see me using my trimmer, my Stampin' Up! Logos upside down, I do trim my paper left-handed. So maybe I was not meant to use my left hand that much. Maybe that's why I have trouble with that. But yeah, so if you go, why is she doing it that way? I just do a lot of things in life left-handed, so that is why. So I'm cleaning that stamp off quick, and now we're going to, making sure it's dry, I'm going to switch to basic gray, kind of that dark gray color. So as I was pulling out cardstock colors and going with what colors coordinated with the DSP, then I noticed that there's basic gray and smoky slate, so, and black, and I just thought black would be kind of too dark, too blah, so I went with the basic gray. And this is the last one, guys, I promise. So got all that trimming done there. So now I can do some more assembling, and with that I'm going to start with the one that's the basic gray, because that's the only one, it's the single one. And I'm just going to take a strip of cardstock here, and I'm just going to eye it to see that it's in the middle. You want to put it in the middle just so you have the same amount of room as much as possible on either side of that arrow here. And let me take kind of 2 at a time, put my adhesive on, and this one kind of just want to angle a little bit this way and then opposite way going that way. So I've got that. So once you know, it's the putsy part of, yeah, you've got to stamp out the arrows, change your ink pad colors, and do that little bit of trimming, but seriously not bad at all. And then I'm just gonna kind of put this one at an angle and, oops, want to change directions with that. Okay, so how fun is that for a background for your main image? And then before I put that down on my smoky slate, hi Janice, how are you? So here's what it'll look like. This is the smoky slate card base that I chose. I almost thought about going with the Night of Navy because we're going with that ink too, and that looks okay to have that. But I just thought there was more of a pop of color. So I thought, well, there's the Night of Navy background, where if you have lots of Night of Navy and don't think like that you need to buy a new color of something. I use tons of smoky slate though. I just thought that this was kind of fun to use the smoky slate, just made it lighter. Hi, Vicki. So now that is ready. Oops. And how fun that we still see that heart in the back with the fun pattern in there too. Okay, so I'm just going to run my tape around here, and I'll put that on my card base here like so, and then it's just coming up with the focal point, and that I'm still, even though it's a guy card, I'm going to use the heart. And let me get my white cardstock over here. And this is going to be my basic gray ink pad that I'm inking up the Happy Valentine's Day, like so. And because this is a pretty solid one, I'm really going to be sure that I have my Stampin' Pierce mat underneath it, and that I press down good to make sure that all of that ink sticks on there really well. And this is the difference in between the ink pads. So now anytime you buy an ink pad, it's going to be kind of the foamy one. These are the old like felt. And so I did think about doing this heart with that felt pad, and it just, because of it being so solid, did not look very sharp. So I'm like, okay, then we switch gears. But then it ended up that I really did like the basic gray color for that. So I have now the smaller of the heart, and I'm just going to feed the Happy Valentine's Day into there, like so, and punch that out. And then we have this that we started with already from the inside. Actually, I can move that out of the way. So I'm going to take my adhesive and just put a little X there on the back and put that together like so. There we have that, and then that's going to be our focal point for our card. So size-wise, you still see a lot of the arrows, you still see the focal point of the heart, and you still see the fun background, which is great too. So that is just going to be front and center like so. So how fun to have a Valentine's Day card for guys. And of course I need to do a little bit of embellishment on the front, and then I need to find something for the inside. The stamp set says love you lots, and so if I'm sending these cards out for you guys to use this month, that might not be the saying that everybody wants, but I love this from my heart to yours. So I thought, well, that was kind of maybe more appropriate or better. So I'm going to pull out my white cardstock again, and here it is. And with that, I'm going to ink up my Pacific Point ink pad. And because this one isn't so solid, this seems to ink up pretty easily. Just kind of a whole row of dots. So how fun is that? I'm going to get it really close so you can see it's all kind of like dotted there. So there's that. Hey there, Lisa. And then I have that inside saying, from my heart to yours, that I'm going to also ink up in Pacific Point. Because it's photopolymer, it's very easy to see exactly how that lines up in the inside of that. And then I'm going to punch that out. This is going to go on the inside of the card. Normally I don't do anything that kind of like punches or is its own little tiny layer there, but I thought, well, this would be fun to do this. Hi Karen, thanks for joining in. So let me just put some adhesive on here like so. Go back to the inside of my card, and then that's going to be right in the inside there. And then just because there's a little tiny heart in the stamp set there, I'm going to ink that up in Pacific Point, and just kind of, it's kind of like a double heart with, whoops, that didn't turn out so great. But it's photopolymer, we'll see. There, I lined it up again while you guys were watching. Okay, now I'm okay, so we have that for the inside, and then I just want to add some kind of embellishment. And with that, I'm going to use the matte black dots. And so not always can you find great embellishments, once again, for guy cards, and ribbon can get kind of tricky, even though today I did use some denim ribbon, which would be great. The matte black dots have small and large. I'm going to use just the large ones for this because everything is so busy. I feel like I need to use large embellishments to actually kind of stand out. And that will help tie in kind of the black color too in the background of that designer series paper. So I'm going to put on 3 for that odd number to make it look good. And there that is. Hi, Lynette. And so, yes, and isn't that blue color just like so pretty? So I don't often use Pacific Point, but when I do, it really makes things just bright and pop like that. So happy Valentine's Day from my heart to yours. So there it is, card number 7 for January's virtual stamp camp. Let me get my camera turned around here. Okay, whoops, and there we go. So that was card number 7 already, and I'm going to be taking a break for a little bit because of my wrist, but I hope to be back on Monday. And if not, I'll let you guys know. I think it would be great if I could just like be like normal Monday. I know I won't be normal, but at least functioning enough to do something here. And I also have a virtual hostess starting up on Monday, and that's Kim Nas. And then I also need to do, let's see, this was card number 7. I still need to do cards 8, 9, and 10 for January stamp camp. And I want to use some more Valentine hearts, love themes, so that I need to get out to you as well. And so look for me next week on that, and next week's kind of the last week of January too, so I need to get that done. So if you're interested in the set of 10 cards, they are $22. Just let me know you want the set. $22 for the set of 10. And then if you're thinking of ordering anyway and need some supplies, a minimum order of $75 using the host code, and I'll post that same code with this card still shot when I'm done here, and that host code with tied in with your order will get you the cards for absolutely free. So thank you, Diane. So it's been fun to see so many of you guys jump in today too. So I'm gonna go upload my card, and have a great evening, you guys. Take care.